Governor, what's your reaction to just activities in the country since the...
This is Jim Crow 2.0. It's sick. Stone cold racism in a scale I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. Never have seen in my lifetime. It's all happening. Bringing us back to a pre-1960s world. It's jaw-dropping what's happening. It was jaw-dropping what Governor Landry did. He suspended a primary election where tens of thousands of people had already voted. Why? To redistrict 2 districts to eliminate black representation. I can't believe that we're experiencing this. My parents talked to me about this. I said, well, thank God it's not going to happen on my lifetime. And it's happening in real time. Anti-woke is anti-black. All these attacks on DEI, it's anti-black. Level of racism is sick. Rewriting history, censoring historical fact. Number of African Americans have been eliminated from key positions and posts. The Pentagon and elsewhere, it's sick. It's happening in the United States of America in the open. And it needs to be called out. So forgive me for reacting this way. And I feel a deep responsibility to do something about this, and nothing to do with me as governor, just as a human being. This is not why our founding fathers lived and died. It was about the expansion of liberty, expansion of freedom, including more and more people. And we're seeing exactly the opposite take shape under this administration.
With breaking news, the battle over redistricting your vote in Georgia just got real. I'm Karen Greer.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Wendy Corona. Governor Brian Kemp is calling a special session to redraw state and congressional districts. Channel 2's Richard Elliott is live at the state capitol with what this means for the upcoming election. Richard.
Yeah, it just got real indeed. Buckle up. We're going to have a special legislative session on June 17th and expect it to be a raucous one. The governor made his proclamation just after 2 o'clock this afternoon. We can show you the proclamation. The special session will deal with redistricting the state of Georgia after that landmark Supreme Court decision that said race cannot be used to redistrict and create majority-minority voting districts. Republican-controlled legislatures around the South and now Georgia are scrambling to redraw their district lines for General Assembly and Congress. We spoke with the Democratic Party of Georgia, which says this decision could actually galvanize its voters. They will push back against it. And the Georgia Republican Party just a few minutes ago said they applaud the governor, said, quote, "We must move forward with aggressive redistricting that fully eliminates racially gerrymandered maps. But whatever happens during this special session will not happen in time for this upcoming election in November. The new maps would not take effect until 2028 elections." We're live in downtown Atlanta at the state capitol. Richard Elliott, Channel 2 Action News.
Richard.
With breaking news.
Shalom, shalom. First off, I want to start off by giving all the glory, infinite praise, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that do rule and teach well. Peace, love, and salutation to the hopeful elect that is out there pushing this truth in all sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, giving diligence to make your calling and election sure. Shalom. This is your brother Hashah from the Great Millstone Savannah Camp, coming back in the spirit with another lesson. Lord willing, I pray and hope that it is edifying and exhorting. All right. And I want to do this lesson going into the redistricting that is taking place across the United States. All right. Which I wanted to get. I'm going to start off with the precept. Revelation 12 and 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell therein. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." And Esau. Let me see something. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, all right, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of, he is in opposition to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. All right, and when you go into that word Satan, it means adversary, okay, or accuser. And basically, Salakia, Esau Edom, he knows that he has a short time to rule on earth, and that, his new world order has to be implemented, which is really Yahweh Bashem Yahushai hardening his heart. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is hardening the so-called white man's heart to make him fight for his kingdom, as his kingdom, fully goes out. It's on the way out. It's circling the drain, which I was listening to. I guess someone that was running for a seat or Congress, a politician. He was talking about how, basically what we have been saying, the so-called, basically what we have been saying, the Israelites, all right, primarily the men of GMS who, we hastened the fall of this empire. But he was basically saying that they are in a death spiral. These, Republicans, right, which, we don't subscribe to any voting, all right, anything of that nature, because, to vote means to make a vow to a God or to a power. Okay. And, basically this system is rigged. All right. It's not one which benefits you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. And we are letting our people know to depart, man. All right. Micah 2:10 says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword pollution, even with the sword destruction." Salakia. All right. And, and that's roughly paraphrasing. This is not you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Stop looking for a future here. Get your mind out of this place being prosperous and going back to normal. It's not. Okay. Which we've been letting you know that that it wasn't. Okay. And that, to wake up. Jeremiah 30:5. It says, "For thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling and of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child, or whether do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness." So the Lord is letting you know that we have heard, and it says what? Concerning Judah and Israel. Concerning you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start from 4. It says, "And these are the words that Yahweh spake concerning concerning Israel and concerning Judah." It says, "For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling and not of peace." All right. He said, "I hear cries of fear. There is terror and no peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child." Right? In the NLT, it says, "Let me ask you a question. Do men give birth to babies? Then why do they stand there, ashen faced, hands pressed against their sides like a woman in labor?" Verse 7, it says, "In all of history, there has been such a time of terror. There have never been such a time of terror. It will be a time of trouble for my people Israel." And we're letting you know that, and we've been letting you know that you're coming into this time. All right. Matter of fact, it's here. and to, spiritually and mentally, all right, depart from America, the American ideology, the American way, man. Okay. This place is through. It says, yet in the end, they will be saved, which a remnant of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Hispanics will be saved. Okay. But only if you repent, only if you come back to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the God of the Bible, man, the God of the heavens and the earth. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 11. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns, which is the fourth beast, right? And he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. All right, going into the two-party system. I played a clip of Gavin Newsom, who is the so-called Democratic leader of California. Which if you look at California, man, it's bad. All right. Which a lot of these major states and cities are run down. All right. Poverty stricken. There's tons and tons of homeless. All right. And this system has failed you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, man. All right. It was never set up for you in the first place. Okay. This was like we always say, this was a prison. You're not supposed to love the jail. You're not supposed to love the prison. Okay. You're not, which this is what, we've been taught to do. All right. Turn shit into sugar. All right. But we're letting you know that this place is not going back to normal. All right. There will be no, normality. All right. Ultimately, what it's heading towards is a digital control system. All right. And if you're, basically caught doing anything in this new digital system, all right, it will have immense punishment. All right. Matter of fact, I want to get that Revelation. What was it? 13? Right? Right? When it says, and he spoke as a dragon, right? Going into that word Draco, right? Dracone, right? Let's get that in the online etymology. Let's get it. Because we've done tons of lessons on this. Okay. Dracone. Right? It says a huge serpent dragon, right? Now, the root word of that word, it says pertaining to Draco, which is the dragon, right? Which we just read. Who is the dragon? Esau, Edom, right? It says in reference to laws, rigorous, extremely severe, or harsh. Okay, and when he said that this is going back to Jim Crow, he's probably right. Okay. It says Draco is Latinized from Greek Dracone, right? Name of an anchor was the Archon of Athens. It says who laid down a code of laws for Athens 621 BCE that mandated death as punishment for minority crimes, right? It says his name seems to mean literally sharp-sighted, okay? So this Draco or draconian laws, right? Dracon, right? That's dracon. He's going to come down like a serpent, like a dragon, right? With rigorous and strict laws. This is what's being implemented. Okay. And if you are, speaking against the government, if you're doing anything, if you consent unto the devil and take the MOTB, which is a microchip, right, in your right hand or in your head, okay, you will give over control to this beast, all right, to Esau, Edom, the devil, all right, and guess what will be implemented? Guess what will be in place? Mandated death as punishment for minor crimes, right? You speeding, guess what? You can't drive anymore, right? And there'll be no more speeding tickets, right? You speak out against the government, you won't eat, right? You think you can exercise your constitutional rights of freedom of speech. He's coming down with great wrath. All of that is going away. Okay? You will be put to death for minor crimes. This is what's about to come down the pipe. Oh, if you want to rebel against the government, you want to protest, they'll just cut off everyone at the protest's chip, and you won't be able to buy food. Right? And they'll say, we'll see how long that lasts. How long you want to protest for. This is what's coming down the pipe. So we've been warning you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans of this time. All right? Take heed and repent. Come back to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. I'm going to end off with this one. This is Daniel 12:1. It says, and at that time, Michael shall stand up. All right? This time is going to be so bad that Michael, the archangel, is going to have to be sent to the earth. Okay? It says the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. He's going to stand up. He's going to have to intervene. Divine intervention is going to take place. Right? This is how bad these times are going to be. It says, and there shall be a time. Matter of fact, I've never read this in the NLT. Let's get this in the NLT. Because that Jeremiah was hitting. It says, and at that time, in the NLT, Daniel 12:1, at that time, the archangel, Michael, the archangel, right? It says, Hebrew, the great prince, who stands guard over our nation, will arise. Then there will be a time of anguish greater than any since nations first came into existence. But at that time, every one of your people whose name is written in the book will be rescued. Okay? So if you're not written in this book, if you consent to this devil, right, and take his chip and take his mark and worship this beast, okay, you will be you won't be rescued. There will be no salvation for you. All right. But guess what? Michael, the archangel, is going to stand up for us. Right. Those that be delivered, those that be saved. All right. The Lord is going to send angels back, man. And the head angel being Yahushua. All right. To deliver his elect. All right. So I just wanted to get this lesson out there. All right. Going into these different redistricting. All right. And what it means. How it relates to the scriptures. It's biblical prophecy. All right. The devil knows that he has but a short time to rule on the earth, man. So with that, Lord willing, this is edifying and exhorting. I want to end off by giving all the glory, infinite praise and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rechakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, and salutation to the hopeful elect. Shalom.